also wanted to share some news. You guys, it is time. We got the results. This actually is obscene. Okay, this is gross. I'm so sorry.
It is gross.
So I was just honestly curious if I even had a polyp in the first place. You guys, it is time. It is time. It is officially, what's the date, darling? The 2nd? Today is January 2nd. It is still the time frame where we're like, what is life? What is our purpose? What are we doing with ourselves? But we do officially start our work back up tomorrow, which I have mixed feelings about, but I know that it'll just be good for me. I feel like we've just been floating through the holidays, and as much as I'm grateful for that time, I know that routine is just like, it's just good for me. I just know it's good for me, and I know I feel better with it. But I feel like we can't officially start a new beginning of sorts without officially taking down the massive symbol that is what we just left behind, you know? You guys saw that we got rid of our Christmas tree in a previous vlog, and I actually need to ask you guys something before we take down all the decor. So that chair, pretend it's like scooched up a little bit. It just got moved because we sat in it this morning, but pretend it's like scooched up a little bit. That used to be over in this section. Like when you walked right in, there was a chair that faced into the living room. That used to be over there before the holidays, and that chair used to be over here, but Jack put it over there, and we're kind of vibing with it. But I want to know your thoughts. Did you like the chair over here, if you remember seeing it over there, or do you like it over there when you're just like looking at the living room layout situation? It's kind of nice. I just can't decide. Hi, Hippo. She's not extremely excited about it because the Christmas decorations come with like a lot more fuzzy blankets, like that one and the one on our bed and stuff. But this is one of those things that I wanted to get up and like wake up early to do, so it was just like out of the way, and we had a fresh looking space for the rest of the day. But we actually got up early and had to go run around and do some other things. We were out of cat food. We had to go out and get cat food while we were out. We went grocery shopping. It was just like, before I even knew and before my body even knew what was going on this morning, we had grocery shopped, which is awesome. But now it is almost coffee time, and we are just now getting to taking down the Christmas decorations. But I know I'm going to be thanking myself for doing it today rather than trying to squeeze it in during the week when work gets crazy and everything just starts getting a little bit busy. But we can't start this situation without coffee.
Yes, please.
Let's pour ourselves some coffee, shall we? Are you gonna be able to help me?
Yes.
Still?
Yes, I will help you.
Even if you smell like booty.
Even if I smell like ass.
From the gym.
It's funny, when you try to get that dumpy, you smell like dumpy.
When you try to get this dumpy, I literally can't.
Look. We got the bacon.
What's that one?
Oh, look, do I got the bacon?
Gorgeous. Super delicious.
All those RDL.
You do smell pretty bad.
Yeah, I smell right, dude.
Okay, I'm actually gonna try this
not
coffee that did not breathe. We got this coffee this morning, y'all.
Don't waste your ice on that shit.
No, I'm gonna go for it. I'm gonna drink it even if it tastes like dumpy. You're gonna have regular. We were out this morning, as I said, we were running around, and so after we rewarded ourselves with Dunkin', and I checked my Dunkin' app, and there are like so many new rewards on there. If you guys have the Dunkin' app, they refresh their rewards and everything for the new year, which is great. But one of them was getting a $1 midnight blend medium hot coffee just for $1. And I always like taking advantage of those because those are like a couple different coffee times, so 50 cents per coffee. But Jack took one lick of it and said it was like really bad. So I don't like black coffee anyway, so I'm going to have it.
It tasted burnt and it was cold.
Oh, okay. It was cold.
I was ready for a hot coffee.
I mean, that looks pretty dark.
And it was like, I mean, it's the midnight blend, right?
Yeah. Should I have poured less and like mellowed it out with water?
I don't know.
Jack's like, there's nothing that could save you now.
You're a kind soul for trying to save it, but like, I think they were just pissed at us and they gave me the pot from last night. Like, literally, it was not even warm. They didn't even try to nuke it.
I was gonna pour that for you. I was just...
Oh, you can pour it. I don't want to take your job. I'm gonna lose my job.
Gonna lose my job. Gonna do a nice amount of creamer. That was actually a accidental amount of creamer, but we're gonna pretend I did that on purpose. And then this is our homemade cold brew, which we pour like that much in and we dilute it with water because it's like a little more concentrated. All right, moment of truth. This is looking rather gray. It's looking, no, it actually looks like a solid latte. This is actually turning out pretty good, you guys.
I like the optimist.
Taste test. I can't tell if I'm an optimist or a realist. It goes back and forth. Or a worrier, but all of the above.
Actually, not a nudist.
I'm also a nudist. Yeah, guys, I think I have to, something's not right with that. Much better. Now that we have fuel, I think the plan of attack is to do exactly what we did when we decorated, which was take everything out of the box and lay it all out in this section and then go from there. But I think we're just gonna pull everything without rhyme or reason, honestly, and just put it all here, go get the bins from the basement and just start stashing away. Let's get to it. Well done, darling. Oh my God, this actually is obscene. Like, this is obscene. Something I will say, and I had this thought earlier on in the year, is that you know how the like loud and 90s into early 2000s, like all of that Christmas decoration was kind of going out of style there for a minute, and it was turning over into like very minimal and aesthetic and all of that stuff. And I'm not one to talk because I definitely thrive and I definitely lean more towards that minimal and just clean looking aesthetic with the neutrals, and like if there's colors, it's very muted colors, that type of thing. But for Christmas specifically, I am so happy that I didn't clear out any decorations that we have collected over the years, because trends come and go, and I actually this year saw other people like going full on Christmas colors like we used to even just a few years back. So since Christmas is only once a year anyway, and it's not decor that we have to just like keep up and look at all year round, and it's something special like that, I'm glad I didn't clear out any of the old tacky decor that we used to have as well. All right, next step, bins from the basement. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited for all of this to just be clear. Everything looks so naked. Oh my gosh, already. Just like looking at the shell. You don't have to ask me twice.
I wasn't asking.
Oh, you're telling me we're going to Home Goods? So the Christmas stuff, you guys, a little update, is pretty much, actually it's all put away. I have one of my favorite vloggers in the background, Alyssa Rose. She does like 45 30-minute to hour-long vlogs, which sounds excessive, like that's a lot, but it's the perfect format to just be in the background. And she's a very productive person. Like, she's always like building new furniture that she's getting. She just got a new house, so there's like all of these new house projects and things like that, like long-term or like long-form things. But yeah, that's who I really like to put on the TV whenever I need to be productive myself. But we've got all of the Christmas stuff put into these boxes. And then in one of the boxes I had a bunch of just like our regular all year decor, like a pile in there that I had to clear to make room for Christmas stuff. And I freaking love like refining that stuff. We've got like just neutral candles to go in the vases up there. We've got all of these fake leaf things to put in several vases around the house, so we have to redistribute everything. But then another thing that we are taking the opportunity to do while we have the boxes up here is in the office. I actually was not the catalyst for this next decluttering project. It was actually Jack. So if you guys are new, we did this office all gamey centric because that's just part of Jack and I. We bonded when we first started dating over our mutual love for video games. We don't play the same video games. I'm more of a cozy gamer, so Sims, Stardew Valley, Disney Dreamlight Valley, those types of games. Like any adorable farming simulator situation, I am just like chef's kiss. But over 2020, I want to say it was like March or April or so, pretty early on, when we realized that we are going to be bunkering down for a while, I made a massive order off of IKEA and we transformed this room that was in absolute shambles and disarray. We didn't know exactly what we wanted to do with it, and I put together a vision in my head and just did a bulk order, and we transformed the entire office. And that is actually on my channel, so I will leave it linked down below in case you want to see the shambles that it was in and what we ended up transforming it into. But I went with white office-y type of gaming setup, which we absolutely love, and we still do love, and we loved at the time. And then in here we had all of like our gaming type of stuff that we wouldn't normally put in the rest of our house because that has its own type of decor style, as you guys can probably tell. But in this stuff we had like a Harry Potter wand, we had stuff from Disney World, and a bunch of pop dolls and Star Wars Pez dispensers, like that type of stuff. And everything we had related to our more like traditionally geeky side of us, we displayed within the office. But then last year you guys saw me transform my gaming desk, it's like my gaming desk, my working desk, into something that just had a more serene, calming vibe to it. So a lot of tans, a lot of woods, but it's still my gaming or work setup. So we kind of brought in both things. But Jack was the one that actually recently was like, you know what? I think it's time. I think it's time to make the office more cohesive with the rest of our space. Yeah?
Grow up a little bit, I think were my words. You're beautifying that by saying making it more cohesive, but yeah.
So I think what we end up wanting to do is maybe make this our gaming consoles still, because we've got like a classic N64 over there. We've got an Xbox, a couple Xboxes from the past, which are just, we have to keep them. They are definitely staples, but kind of get rid of things like the Sims games, like the physical game things that I have, and just like store them away until I have the courage or the want to actually get rid of them. But for now, they'll just be away. And then I think what we're gonna do is fill some of this stuff with like books, like maybe a Coho section, and like we'll keep the Harry Potter books out here because classic, you know, that type of thing. So lunch, and by we, I mean Jack is cooking me lunch. I think we did a day in the life vlog recently, or at least in the past month, 2 months or so, and I think I'm still having the same lunch that I was having in that vlog. It's so good. The Mediterranean, like chicken, cucumber, tomato bowl over rice with tzatziki sauce. So good. But I hope that you guys liked the Christmas declutter vlog that you saw today. The house just feels so fresh, so new. It's just such a great way to refresh after the holidays and into the new year. So I hope if you needed inspiration to take down your decor or declutter something, you got it from the video. But I also wanted to share some news. We got the results from my hysteroscopy, polypectomy. We still don't exactly know what we had that day. It was one of the combination of those two things. But this is something that when I got the phone call from my, like a nurse at my OB or a nurse station person at my OB's office, I didn't realize that that is something that I should have probably, or like would normally be anxious about. Not that I have to be anxious about it. It could have been totally fine, right? Like the results could be totally fine. But once the like procedure itself was over, I feel like my body just went into like, okay, I don't care about anything anymore. The thing that I was so incredibly anxious, fight or flight about for like a month is over, and that's all I had to do. That's all I had to do for the foreseeable future, and I couldn't even look to next steps for our second transfer because I was just coming down from this super intense time, it felt like, in December. So when I got the call, I was like, oh, I probably should have been spinning about that too, but luckily I wasn't. I never thought of the possibility of it not being okay or things not coming back with good results. But I think I still have the voicemail that I'll share with you guys because the nurse on the other line just seemed so happy to give this news, and I thought it was like the sweetest thing ever, and it made me excited. Even though I didn't have the results necessarily on my mind, it got me excited because they just seemed so excited for us because they knew why we were there in the first place. So I'll go ahead and play that.
And just wanted you to know that we got the results back and they were good. So I'm going to send them to the portal so you can see them, but excellent. And there's a little note there from Dr. Please give a call if you have any questions, but all good news, nice and benign, and hopefully that will make smooth sailing for the next step. All right, take care. Bye-bye.
How cute. I just thought it was so cute, and I think what added to it, I'll go into my portal because she said that I had a note from my OB like in my portal, and I was like, oh, I wonder what the note says. And I also wanted to see if there was like any other information, even though we know that everything was fine and it's benign. But there was a question whether the tissue that they sent in was even polyp tissue in the first place, you know, because there wasn't, like I said in the previous vlog, there wasn't a physical like, yep, we've got a polyp, and she couldn't see a physical polyp. But that doesn't mean that it couldn't have been hiding in that mass like amount of tissue that was near the entrance that we saw, or that was just polyp tissue and there could have been polyps developing in there. So I was just honestly curious if I even had a polyp in the first place, or if her saying benign over the phone just meant that it was just regular endometrium tissue. I think that's what they would call it. But it was kind of fun. The final result, if I look at the report, was a tissue pathology at the board of something, and it says endometrial and endocervical polyp, a gross description. And when they say gross, I was like, that's mean of them to call my tissue gross, but I don't think that's the like gross terminology that they were like using. It says the container is labeled with the patient's name and source, endometrial polyp. Specimen is received. It consists of, and it gives dimensions, which are super small. And it says multiple pale tan. Okay, this is gross. I'm so sorry.
It is gross.
It is kind of gross. But just know that it was tested and it did indeed contain fragments of endometrial polyp. So that was super fun to know. And then the note from my doc, it says, please let June know the tissue removed at 12/20 procedure was a benign polyp. No further action needed. Hope this means smooth IVF transfer ahead for them with 2 exclamation points. So that was super cute. But yeah, something I didn't know that I was waiting for as far as results go. The only thing in the back of my mind was if my clinic, my fertility clinic, was waiting for the official results in order to submit to insurance for next steps, or did they just need to see that this procedure was done before they submit to insurance? So I have some updates on that in the upcoming vlog. So if you are not subscribed and you want to cheer us on, or anything in this vlog you resonated with, make sure to hit the subscribe button because we post videos here on Wednesdays and Sundays. Everybody, do not forget to give this video a big old thumbs up. I love you all so much, and I will catch you in the next one, my friends. We'll see you later. Bye.